it to the both of the directories as well. So how we normally do this, I'll open it up for just round robin discussion. Anything of concern for you guys, we'll get to first in case you guys need to pop off. And then we'll go over some directory stuff first. I got a presentation today on booking software and why you potentially need that for your directory and to get additional clients for your business and or directory. And we'll go into that. And then we'll do a brief a talk about that subject or anything else you want for any Brilliant Directory stuff. If your memory was jogged or you want to see something while we're going. And then at the end, I do have a software presentation for a booking software with a special deal for everybody on the webinar today. So first off, if you guys missed it and just jumped in, Frank asked a question about the featured blog articles for the website. So I'm gonna do the demo on this one for mine because I'm logged in as me, not you. So
okay,
just as a heads up, and we'll have to change your settings when we get to your site. So the question was, let me just go to the home page here. As everybody probably knows, there's a bunch of standardized widgets on the home page that you can add and change the settings for. So this is an example of one. It's the recent members that you can put on there for the recent listings that are on your site. There's another one where you have a streaming widget for a particular post type. So this is the product post type for me for gift cards. There's another streaming widget for coupons, shows and events, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all built in the system, and you can set up different settings to be able to show different items in here. So we're just going to kind of go over that real quick for everybody on the webinar today to see how to change that. So that is in your settings and design settings. And then once that loads, there's a bunch of tabs in here where you can set different design settings up. But the one that is of note today is the homepage settings and homepage layout, and that's where we're going to be doing the editing for this initial question. So right here is the homepage section order. So if you just open that up, what it does is it's basically broken down into 15 ordered sections where you can order the order of content on your homepage. Now, the setting for the search bar up here is a separate setting on a different page. It basically picks up right at the bottom of that search hero section right here. And so this is the hero divider, and that's going to be the first one on the listings when we look at that. So as you can see here, section 1, homepage hero divider. And then in order to change what's on your homepage, you literally just change what thing you want first, second, etc., and then hit save, and it automatically will resize that dynamically on your page. So I'm just gonna do a demo here for that. I'm gonna do homepage hero divider, and then let's say I want the events calendar. Now most people don't do that, or use that often. I'm just gonna show you what it does. So I'm gonna hit save changes there. I'm going to go to the home page, and then I'm going to hit refresh. And what it's basically going to do is just going to add that. I don't have an events calendar right here now. When I hit refresh, I added it in after the hero divider, and now it's going to dynamically load the upcoming event calendar there with the items for the calendar. So that's how you do that. I'm just going to turn that back off because I actually don't want that there. So I'm just going to put none and hit save changes. Hopefully, I'm going to throw this one out there and everybody can ask them for this and maybe they'll do it. What would be nice is, because they have drag and drop in some other sections, what would be nice is if we don't have to always reset these, if we could just drag and drop that section and then have a dynamically reorder, that would be awesome. Because then you can basically turn it on once and move it. The downfall is, and just be aware of this, if for some reason, for example, you have the custom homepage content and you don't want it third, you want it fourth, well, the only way to get it fourth is to then move this one to 3, but the only way to get 3 here is to remove that. So you kind of have to remember that you're doing it. So that's why I recommend normally, if just to add flexibility in for you later, I'd always add a section, put none, add a section, put none, add a section, put none. Because it provides flexibility. So for example, now I have this slot open between these. So if I want to put something in between those, like the streaming members, now I just go there and click that and then put that to none. And now I just move that up here. And I didn't have to change everything else around that, if that makes sense for everybody. So that's one way to get around that, because there's not a good way to order those. Like if I want to stick something in here between members and products, I literally have to just stair step it down. So I'd have to, this is the next none I have or open spot. So I'd have to go streaming events. Let me find that. Streaming events. Now that one's moved down. So now I do coupons. And you guys get the idea. But then I basically have to move all these down, streaming products. And now that's my duplicate. Now I've got an empty space. Now I can add in whatever I want in that location. So just a kind of tip and trick. Always leave that none in there until they get the drag and drop in there, and that'll give you some flexibility on how to do that. So I'm just going to refresh that to get it back to what I originally had. Now Frank's question was, now I'm finally getting to the question here after kind of doing that intro, is there's some events that are not showing up for that particular item, and he wants to know why. So what you want to do is every time you turn on a section order in here, you'll have members, products, and coupons. There's a corresponding homepage section order options that appears after you select that particular section. So we'll just use the Frank. What was the widget again? It was streaming what?
The blog post or articles. I'm not sure how.
The blog articles. Okay, let me just turn that on just so we can use that and make sure we're looking at the exact same thing. So it was let's say streaming blog. Let's see, streaming blog articles. Okay, so there we go. That's the one in question. Now you see it added the streaming blog articles. So I'm just going to kind of go over the features in here, and this changes what shows up on the website. So you can change the article title. This newest blog articles, that is what shows up here. So when it says that's that right there, that's the title. Display options, 4 results and 4 per row. So basically, you guys know how the matrix works. It basically changes how many across and how many down. So this would be a 4x1. Obviously, that's what I have. If you had a 2x2, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it on the matrix. Be careful about doing, let's say, 1 or 2 wide, because it'll actually elongate that box, and your image may not reflect or look good on that particular size. So you'll have to maybe play with it. If you guys do a 2x2, it'll make it bigger and kind of more pronounced, but you'll need to make sure that the images that you upload kind of conform to that. Otherwise, they may look weird or not show what you wanted. So the link post type, this one generally you would leave as the same article. I'm not sure why you would use the streaming blog articles and then pick a different item. What you may be able to do for that is show 2 different views of the same thing. So, for example, when we get down to the additional plans here, you can filter out by membership level. So I guess this allows you to retitle that. You're kind of repurposing that blog articles as maybe events, but you've already, let's say coupons. You already did one setting here for coupons. If you use the blog articles and then pick coupons from here, then you can kind of pick a second view type and have that coupons on there twice. Maybe one is featured coupons, and then the next one is just regular coupons or something like that. But these are higher up on the page, so that would be one reason why you want to change the post type. This one is good if you want it to look complete, so only show posts with photos. If you have that as no, it's basically just going to show, it won't have photos here. You could just have stuff with just blank default stuff like gray boxes here and not have any images. And again, if you have enough content, you don't want to necessarily show that because it doesn't look good. It looks incomplete. So if you have enough content, or I would always suggest if you're going to put it on your homepage, I would always add enough content with photos so you could always turn this to yes and don't show the other ones, because you don't want to benefit people for not filling in the content either. That never helps. The show view all button, yes, that's just simply turning this button on, and then if you put no, that button just goes away. So maybe you don't want to take them off the page to go look at all the coupons. You just want to focus on the ones that you're featuring or have on the front page. The hide if no post exists. So what happens there if you put no, and there's no articles here, it will literally just say recent coupons, view all, in a horizontal line, and there wouldn't be any content. So that I don't know why you'd ever want that showing, again, with incomplete information if you don't have any, but you can add that if you want, have it show regardless of whether you have any posts. You can include posts from only active members. I would usually say yes on this one. Again, where this usually comes into play is that there's maybe somebody that does not have a listing on the page, that they're not active, but they still posted content. So you may want to have their content show up on there, even though they don't have a listing. So that's where you would use that option. And then include posts from non-searchable members, kind of the same thing. If they're not searchable, you can still show the articles, but not have them show up. And then this is where you can play out different plans. So you can basically say, I want that plan, I want that plan, and I want that plan. And then only those plans are going to show up on the front page or in this widget, wherever you're calling that on the website. While I'm on that topic, something that a lot of people don't know is you can stream and use these widget codes on any page anywhere you want. But what you do, if you add that widget code in for that particular streaming widget, it's going to use the settings off from this home page. So even if you're not using it on the home page and you want to change some dynamic settings in the database, what you need to do is turn this on real quick, save your settings in here that you want it to dynamically change to, and then hit save. And then after you save the changes, that'll save those to the database on how it will present when you add that widget. And then just go back in here and turn it off because you don't want it on your homepage, and then hit save again. So it's kind of a backwards way where you don't have to go into the widget code to add your parameters. If you're pasting it in somewhere else in the directory, you can use this one, change it. It'll add it into there. And that's how I want that widget to appear. And then you can just go turn it back off. So kind of a backdoor way in there that a lot of people don't know. So on this one, again, you can do different tiers. You could, put this as an upsell. So only the premium veteran listing. So for example, on mine would maybe have the capability to be on the front page. Everybody else, unless they upgraded, would not be able to do that. And so you could probably sell that or just put that as a package deal on a higher pricing tier for your directory. And then the display orders, obviously, you have newest first, oldest first, and random. It does not, you cannot pick a category. I would like to see that added as a feature because this has come up with a lot of clients. Hey, can I just pick a category or to show a certain thing? That display order, I think that would be nice a touch there if we could pick a category from the database. But right now, just newest, oldest, and then random. Most of the time, again, unless you're trying to feature new people, it always usually looks better random. And the reason that is because it looks like your page is churning or adding additional people. Because if you just have it as newest first, or oldest first, really, either one of those, and you don't get a lot of traffic or a lot of churn, somebody may come back to your website literally 3 weeks later and go, oh, great, yeah, nobody's joined in the last day or 3 weeks, because these are the same companies. But you notice on mine, it says Granville Family Dental Care. I'm just going to hit the refresh on there. And now I've got recent members. Now it's the Makata Dog Training. So now it looks like everybody, all these people have been added recently, and it just keeps changing. So it looks dynamic for people. So often that looks better and is the best way to do that. So random is probably what I recommend. And then finally, the last thing on here, Frank, this is your question. Limit one post per member. This is probably set to yes for you. So what this does is it doesn't let somebody hog the space. If they add a bunch of, if you have it in the order of precedence or order of posting, somebody can't just post a bunch of articles or a bunch of coupons and have it be Vitale's Pizza, Vitale's Pizza, Vitale's Pizza, Vitale's Pizza. You can limit it to one post per member. But in this case, it says blog article. If that's what you're using, and it's his for his site, and he wants to use all of them because it's his blog article, nobody else is posting that, you would want that to be no.
Well, unfortunately, none of what you just did is on my site. So.
What do you mean is on your site?
The only thing, you see at the bottom of yours where it says about website and join offer?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have anything above that I can.
Oh, okay. Well, so you need to do that turn on, edit, and then turn off thing that I just talked about. So what the way, and let me just talk to this about Frank's site real quick, and I just want to throw this out there as a use case, and this is how we did yours, Frank, and I'll show everybody else how to do this as well. So as you notice in the pull down here, there's only one custom page content. And what this is when you pick custom page content. So for mine, this is the custom page content. I made a custom matrix here, so it had the look I wanted for mine. So this is custom page content right here. It's only available in one spot because what happens is there's one custom page content, and if I pick custom page content down here, it's going to add that exact same content twice. It's going to be up here, and it's going to be down here, and now that matrix is going to be here, and it's going to be way down here twice. So the only way to do custom content and then a streaming widget and then more custom content to put it in two spots is you basically have to have all of these streaming widgets pasted into your streaming content. So you basically do your own order inside of the custom content, and I'll show you guys how to do that right now. So if you guys go to content, edit web pages, inside that, it's usually the first one, it's the home page, and that is your custom homepage content. So when you are selecting custom homepage content, that is what you're editing. I'm just going to go into mine to show you what I was talking about. So now you notice in mine, I have my widget business services. So that is that widget that I made with that content. Now, what we did for Frank is that if I want multiple stuff, I would basically have that widget in there. I would add the widget for streaming coupons, streaming articles, whatever those other widgets are here. And then I would add more custom content below that. So I'm just going to do this as an example. Let's say it's that. Let's say it's business services. I want the streaming coupons, whatever that coupon widget code is here. I can't spell coupons. And then I would have additional content here. So if I was doing it inside the thing, I would normally only be able to add this custom content and then the streaming widgets, and then I would not be able to add additional content after that. So this allows me to add my custom content, a streaming widget, and then some additional content afterwards, and then you just save it. So so Frank, if you go into yours, what you're going to see for what his is going to look like is this. It's basically going to look like that, where
I've got like 10.
Yeah, so he's got all the different widgets in there. So you would basically, instead of changing the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in yours on the homepage, there's, let's say, several segments or custom. Let's say that's custom content. Oops. And then the 2, let's say the 3 at the end, that's custom content. Then basically what you would do to rearrange the order is you'd move that one up to here, move that one down to here, and now you just rearranged those widgets. You hit save, and those would dynamically be inserted in that order. And the reason you do that again is because now you can have 2 separate sections of custom content while still showing all the streaming widgets. But in terms of editing the settings for those, this is what he's getting at when he goes into the design settings again. Because all of those widgets are already in the custom content, we would basically turn them off. So the only widget that is showing in the homepage layout here is the custom homepage content, because the streaming coupons was already in there, so we don't want to show it again. So basically his looks like this, where it's basically homepage content and none. And then when I'm saying, hey, edit that, you notice there's nothing down here to edit because we turned them all off. So what you want to do, if you do that kind of workaround to put 2 custom homepage settings on there, what you want to do is turn this back on to events, go edit whatever's in the default stuff, save it, and then go back in here and turn it off and save it again. Does that make sense? Because otherwise you got to go into the code.
One more time. So you turn it on where?
You turn it on. So you're going to go to streaming blog articles, go edit, change that to if that's the issue from yes to no, save it, and then go back in here and say, okay, now that I've saved the settings that's in the system, just go back in there, turn it off, and save it again. So now when you call it from that custom homepage content, it should have those new settings you had just saved.
I'm going to try that.
So I know I went over a lot of stuff there. Any questions from anybody or anything that they learned or that you want me to go over again?
I wait, one question. So I got streaming featured blog articles, member articles with sidebar.
Nope. It's going to be the streaming blog, I would think. Is that on there?
Streaming blog.
It should be
with sidebar.
It should be streaming blog articles unless we have with sidebar. If that was, it could be either one of those. I don't remember which one we used. So.
All right, I'll play with it.
Okay. Any questions from anybody on that? Everybody dazed and confused? No, nothing. Nobody. Tony, you're smiling. You're confused. Don't care.
That's good.
All right. Any other questions from anybody? Just general directory, their directory question about Brilliant Directories, or?
I've got one.
Okay.
I have a brand new site, literally not gone live yet, and it's it's a people. So I'm a specialist sort of in that recruitment space, and at the moment on the profiles, if you sort of say that you include the telephone number, it's in the public domain. So I want to try to get it so that it's not in the public domain. It's only available to members that are signed in. But I don't seem to be every variation of the settings I've tried. It's either all in and it's open to the public, or it's not showing up at all.
Okay. Hey Tony, do you mind giving me is your directory live, or do you mind?
Yeah, it's up. It's my.thetransformationleadershub.com.
Can you throw that in the chat just so I don't mess that up? So let me, while you're doing that, so Jenny was asking, just wondering if BD will ever have an undo button. Yeah, that would be nice, because I know the problem is when you save it, right? When you save it and it just doesn't work, it'd be nice if there was a revision at least for latest changes to go undo. Just one note for everybody: if you're editing a widget, and sometimes this helps me, and you hit save. Like you change the code or something, and you go to the front end and it didn't work. You can do Control-Z, which is undo inside of your browser, and it will undo the as long as that that you didn't close out that widget, it'll undo the typing you just did or the deletion or whatever else you did. And you can keep hitting Control-Z, and it'll add everything back in there. So then you can just go back and hit resave for that. So that does help me, even though there's not an undo button. So, all right, Tony, I got that. Let's go live here. Can you guys still see my screen?
No.
Hold on. No, it still shows screen. You guys see Tony's website?
I think you're right. I had to switch back to the AV, or switch to screen.
Okay. Oh, switch to content. There we go. All good. Good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So here's and this looks great, by the way, Tony. This is did you do this yourself, or did you pay a developer to edit this for you?
No, I've been playing around with it myself.
Oh no, nice. I mean, this looks nice. And this is a great example for a lot of people say, and it's overblown in terms of everybody's perception of it looking like a BD site, but this is a good example of me just changing what the front page looks like and adding some stuff. So
all what you can see there is exactly what you've just done, and what you've just gone through, where we've effectively just used that custom page to put all that front end on, and the frequently asked questions there is just a widget that I've used from what's it called, from Elf site.
Okay. Yep. Great. Yeah. So Elf site, and we can actually go over that in another webinar. I'll just make a plug while we're on this, because I kind of, as you guys know, just kind of talk about topics as they come up. So we'll get to your question in a second, Tony. But the Elf site does have a lot of cool integrations. And we actually do offer those up on Directory Toolkit as well. And I just wanted to, there's what we have is a, for example, of the social media share widget. They've got a lot of them on there. You can add this onto your site as well. But it basically puts those nicely formatted things on on the side of your page. But they have a lot of good integrations. There it is right here. That you can just put on your site. So Tony's got the the FAQ. That's a widget and a lot of good stuff from them. So that's a great job and great integration. So his question here is when you go to let's see.
So if you go into resources room.
Now let me just go to your member directory.
Yeah.
So so his question is, so when you go to view the profile, there is a phone number on there, which it looks like this one.
I've switched it off at the moment, but I can go in and just let me go in and I'll switch it back on.
Well, I mean, so this takes. I think this is to your question though, and I can get back in the back end on where this is at. You notice here that there's not a phone number. However, as Tony's saying, there is a phone number in the system, right? You just turned it off.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go show you guys where this is at, so you guys know that you can do this. And there's some other settings as well. If you guys go to the content and edit post settings, there is in any particular section you can edit items. I'm sorry. Disregard. That's the wrong section. This is where you would go to change the listing content. But since that's a listing item itself, you want to go to the finance membership plans. And then this is a per membership plan customization. So let's just do my video marketing one here, for example. You would go to the edit, and in the actual profile, there is a options where you can turn on different tabs, right, and photo. But in the additional settings, it has the option that Tony has turned off. So it says show phone number on listing. So for particular membership levels, you can turn that to no when you save that. If for Tony's example, if you had that to no, there's not going to be a phone number on there, no matter, even if they added that to the form. And then if you put yes, then it would show up as the phone number. So correct me if I'm wrong. So Tony's question is, how do I get that to show for certain membership levels by other membership levels?
The question is, I want to, because of GDPR in particular, because this is all sort of personal information,
right.
I want to make sure that only people that are logged in can see the phone numbers. So at the moment, that setting seems to turn it on or off completely. So at the moment, you're not logged in. So you should. I don't want you to be able to see it. But if you were logged in as a member and then logged on, looked at Jerry's, in this case Jerry's profile, I would want you to be able to see his telephone number and use that sort of click to call type of facility that we've got on the site as well.
Okay.
But it seems that as soon as you switch on that setting that you just showed,
yep.
It's all or nothing. There's no way that you can mediate between members and non-members.
Okay, so there's a couple ways around that, Tony, and one of them is probably not ideal. And I know you probably know how to do this, but just for everybody who's listening does not know that, you can basically make the profile not visible, right? So, and this is kind of the poor man's way, and probably not the way you want to execute it. But if there's some sort of proprietary or personal information on a particular page that you don't want members to see, you can just make that page, the entire content, not available to visitors. And so where you would do that for particular settings is in the post settings. I just want to kind of show you guys where, oops, not that, edit post settings. And so if any particular, let's just say the events, for example, if we edit that, there's a general settings here, and you can say protect this post type. And so you can say protect the search results and or the detail pages. So in this instance, I should probably use the actual listings here. you would basically say, hey, there's some private information on the contact page or the profile page, whichever one of those. So you would basically say, hey, members only access for the entire profile and contact, and you would save that. And so now when you get to Tony's site, it's what it's going to look like is they're going to search for information. They're going to get to the search results. But they can see all this. But if they want to go actually view their profile with their personal information, they're going to get the members only warning. You basically saying you have to log in in order to see that. So that's one way to do that. Were you aware of that?
I was aware that because if you click on that send message, then that sort of takes you through to you're not a member. You need to
yes.
log
So
in.
you must have. So you probably have that checked. Not right.
I didn't know that exists, so I'll go and see whether that makes the difference for me.
Okay, so that's one way. That's probably, again, I'd say not the workaround, the ideal way, because now anybody clicks on your results and they get that and they're like, oh, okay, I'm out of there. Whereas they could probably get some other data, just not have the personal information if they're logged in. So what you can do, and I'm just going to Brilliant Directories. I'm going to do members. I'm just going to type in membership, and okay. So adding custom information to your member search results. I think this is what this is. Yes. So if you just type in membership and you guys can go do this, it has all the stuff here. Again, otherwise you can have a developer do this for you, or I can do that for you if you want to book a meeting with me. Anybody on the call here, we can do that. What this does is it basically checks. There's two different examples on here of what it can do. So what it basically does is, one, it checks for the membership level of the user shown in. So basically, it knows what membership level you are when you log in, and it shows some stuff. And then, or it can do if a member is logged in. Okay. So what you would have to do is there'd be some customization, but this is probably the ideal way to do this, is that you basically would go into the code. And let me just tell you which one this is. When you go to edit it, go to your toolbox widget manager, and this is going to be the one that you're going to want to edit either on yourself or have the developer do. Just type in header. That's going to be the one that you want. It's going to be right here, member profile header. So what you're going to want to do is in the section there for the phone number. Okay. You're going to want to do this code and wrap it in the thing. You're basically saying if user subscription ID is a certain number, or if you're logged in, the code's in here, then you're basically going to show that content. So the examples they give here, it says this text shows if a member is not from membership level 1. They have an example here that says, congratulations, you're a member of membership level 1. And then the other one up here, I think, is just you're logged in. So what that would do was it would basically, when it's rendering the profile page, it would say, when it gets to the phone number, it's going to say, are you part of the membership level? And again, you could sell this, right? You say, hey, unless you're the premium member, you don't get the phone numbers. If you're paying for the premium member, you'll get the phone number. So however you do that, you probably want to sell personal data like that, but you can do the same thing for other content. You could only show the phone number for certain membership levels because it's checking that person's logged in, or you can just check to see if they're just logged in. And so when it gets to that, it says you're logged in, show phone number, and then it continues with the rest of it. If it's not logged in, it won't show the phone number, and it continue with the rest of it. So it'll basically, if I was logged in on your page, it would have that phone number, and if I'm not, it just will not be there.
That's
so
right.
That's what you need.
Super, thank you.
Any questions on that from anybody else?
No, Ryan, but jumping back, I got that to work, and I would recommend to people to always do 3 across, because if you do 4 across, you can only have a 2-word title. If you do 3 across, you can get up to 5 words which is much more common sense to make a title of your blog post.
Yeah, so let me show you what Frank's talking about that just visually, and I agree. There's a way around it, obviously, but you have to go tweak it, right? And you have to get the wording correctly in order to look right. So this is what he's saying about the 4 across. You can only fit so many words. So when we're adding products into here, what ends up happening is it cuts it off if it's too long, and then you see the rest of it when you hover over it, right? So this says blog posts and article, right? And article what? It's writing. So whereas, like, so for the one the service we're going to go over today is Book Like a Boss, right? So this is an example. I couldn't put Book Like a Boss client booking because it wouldn't fit it in there. I just put client Zoom booking because that fit in there, nice title without cutting it off. If you only have 3 across, or obviously definitely if you only had 2, you could just fit, like you said, 8 words in there.
And the picture worked fine with 3 across also.
Yeah, if it's a high enough res or you have the right dimensions in there, it should pair fine, right? Because otherwise, what ends up happening is that it cuts some stuff off. So, for example, here's just an example of something Yaa can put on there, but we'll have, maybe have him edit that so it looks better for the e-commerce solution. But you see the picture is a little off; it gets cut off, and then it just says e-commerce 4 instead of something more complete sense and using the full width there. So just something to keep in mind. It works fine for 4 across. It just takes a little bit more finesse, and you may have to go back and edit your wording to make sure it looks good. But the other piece in that you always have to think about is you may not be able to control all these. Like control all the products on here. It may be people posting to your website, right? And then they're not going to go in there and tweak their title or something for you, and it's going to look like crap potentially. So if you can, go ahead.
And FYI, I'm quite pleased with myself.
that you fixed that?
Huh?
That was the expert walkthrough tutelage that you got. Right?
No doubt about it. No complaints here. It worked.
All right. Any other questions from anybody on anything on that or? All right. Let me find my presentation screen again. Let's see.
Hey, it's Big John. Hey,
So Jenny also asked, sorry, I'm just getting your other question here. Tell us where the replays of the directory webinars that you do. So I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna post it to the actual directory.
Don't you put it in the group?
Was that?
You put it in the group every week, don't you?
Yeah, I put it in the group. So that's the easiest way, right? Is go there, or you can go to Directory Toolkit, and there's an entire video section on there as well. And you can just go to newest videos, and here's last week's webinar number 5. You can watch the entire webinar there. Or what I normally do is I kind of talk about this. I have 2 sections. I kind of go over a topic set and then the software or whatever. I also break down that into just like 15 to 20 minute chunks about that topic set in here. And those videos are also available. So there's generally 3 every week. The whole shebangy with me walking through a bunch of random stuff, the topic set and the product. And then just the topic set presentation, and then the product. And then obviously you can view all, go in there and view all those if you want. All of the webinars, just click webinars from the video search and search that, and it'll have all of the webinars, as well as one that apparently was miscoded, which I'll go back and fix after this. But here's all the previous webinars, 1 through 5 for you, and then 6 will be on there as well. And then the other way to do that is go to directoryvideos.com. And if you go to directoryvideos.com, that just goes to our YouTube page where I have all the videos posted there as well. So hopefully one of those 3 ways you can get there. And then actually, and then the 4th one, which is probably should be the most obvious one, just go to directorywebinars.com, and I'm going to link there to all of the webinars. That seems like a obvious choice, which I have not done yet. So that's pretty dumb. You'll be able to go to directorywebinars.com, and it'll be all on there as well. Let's see. Autosave, Karen already asked that. And all right, I think that's all the questions. Anything else before I go into the presentation? Going once? All right. And it looks like my content's gone. Let me add that back in there again. All right, so today's topic is going to be booking software. And before I go into that, we'll just open it up here while I'm loading this. Does anybody actually, and John, you don't get to talk, or we're going to get to you later. Anybody use booking software right now for anything or any type that you guys use?
I use Calendly.
Frank uses Calendly. Okay, that's probably the most common one. I think they're the, I would call them the, not really the Zoom of booking. I guess I would call it the Skype of booking. That was the first one on the scene. Freemium model. They have a lot of traction from initial adopters there. So that is a popular one as well. Anybody else use anything?
I use 10 to 8 on one of my websites.
I'm sorry, Tony, what was the website again? Sorry.
10 to 8. So
10 to 8.
TZOH.com, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up real quick. So I don't think I've. I know that's actually in probably the top 6 total usage ones, and I haven't actually seen that. So it's 10to8.com. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
Or maybe I can never tell anymore if it's .com. Everybody's kind of going away from that. So 10 to 8. That means you're. That's a 10 hour. That's a 10-hour day. I don't want to work till 8 o'clock though. All right, I actually don't know what the reference is there, but again, so so we got Calendly, and then this one. What features do you like about that for you, Tony?
To be fair, I just picked it up a good few years ago, and I think the challenge is once you've started using one, you just tend to stick with them, don't you? So, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I would just say that it's okay. It's just a basic okay. It's probably more geared for in terms of people who are maybe in salons or hairdressers and stuff, rather than what I use it for, which is a business to business type of environment.
Well, I guess what don't you like about it then, Tony? I guess just for other people doing or looking at possibly using this, what do you wish it did that it doesn't do, or what? Is there any snags really, or?
The integration wise, it's not great. So pulling information through, data through into CRM systems, it's not great. I haven't found a way of doing it. So, but again, for the usage I have of it, it's okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So let me go into the presentation here. I'm gonna we'll be going over something here in a little bit, and it keeps losing my presentation. Let me pull it up again. So the stuff we're gonna go over today is there we go. Everybody see that? Take bookings, make money. So what we're going to talk about today is this solution set of getting bookings on your site. So as Tony just mentioned, business to business are getting clients set up for bookings, especially now with the COVID stuff going around. It's going to become a bigger and bigger factor for most businesses. I know a lot of you guys are actually doing agency type integrations or businesses. So again, this is if it's something that you guys can master, it's something that you can help other clients with as well. So if you're kind of doing an agency thing, that's something you can probably charge for on the setup or even for the services or help them out as well. It may be something for your clients to benefit from. And that's why I'm presenting it to you guys today. So if for those of you who don't know, I kind of briefly showed it there and Tony talked about it, but basically these online booking systems they're basically appointment schedulers, booking software, whatever you call it. It's basically an app or a tool that allows you or your clients to schedule appointments through an online portal or through your directory or your website. or anything else that you have online. And in many cases, that those booking platforms also come with business or calendar management, kind of integrate that for you as well. And it makes it easy for you and then staff, if you have anybody, to stay on top of your appointments, clients, and just business in general, and keep you on your toes and avoid double bookings and other availability issues that generally arise if there's more of a manual process. It's just not a system set up for that. So that's what these are built to do. And so that's the topic we're going to kind of talk about today is taking bookings and making money. And it has the logo there for Book Like a Boss. We'll go over to that software in the second part here today. And that's the one we're going to be going over. But as Tony showed you, Frank showed you, there's other options, Calendly 10 to 8. And there's probably now as well, probably 30 to 40 of these types of services that are available. And they all have their individual feature sets that you may want to avail yourselves of. But let's be honest, this online booking thing's probably the new normal, right? I think we can all agree on that. You don't have to book a time to drop off your library books, book a time to get your haircut. You have to book a time to pick up your food curbside, book a time to arrive at the medical office in order to do your dentist stuff. So basically, you name it, everybody's using these nowadays to book. And with everybody doing everything online and everybody having about 20 Zoom meetings a day or a week, it's hard to get all that stuff scheduled on time and have an efficient process for you to do that. And these booking softwares allow you to do that. And by basically providing your clients with an online booking system that meets and exceeds their expectations, you're basically going to increase their long-term booking rates, get them hooked on your efficient system, and make you more productive. And then in the end, it's going to bring that higher revenue, better margins for you, and a loyal customer base that's going to come back to you and give you their money time after time. Tony kind of already alluded to that. Once you kind of got the system down, or you're involved with that, or in your client's case, if they start to use your software and your system, they're just going to get used to it. They're going to like it. It's going to be an efficiently known process to them, and it's going to hook them into your business or service, and that's something that these allow you to do. So what I want to go over today is what these booking softwares can do for you. And bottom line is it streamlines your customer service. So one of the recent surveys showed that 80% of customers are willing to buy or book from a company that offers excellent customer experience. And so having a system on your website where they can just book a time with you for either a consultation, to explore your product, to talk with you, or do actually buy a service from you, it just makes it that much more streamlined, and they're more likely to give you paying business later if you can get them involved with your efficient system. So it also fulfills that now generation. So they especially with everybody using this stuff, if they have to wait around, they're probably going to go use somebody else. So I think everybody can agree that the customers nowadays want a convenient, fast, and easy experience when it comes to, booking a course, hiring a room, making an appointment, or any, items like that. And they've come to expect that thanks to the proliferation of these online booking systems and mobile devices, really with your phone, into your everyday lives. So, I think back to when computers were just started and having a fast way to do stuff. If I look back and I thought that people were going to be leaving a website because it didn't load within 2 seconds, and they get frustrated and leave, or if they can't find an automated pop-up. But we talked about chatbots last week. It's just funny to think back now, but it's really the now generation. People want to find that stuff immediately, and this booking stuff to tie straight into you is an example of that. And then it also makes you the easy booking, makes you the easy logical choice, right? I think of haircut apps or haircut places where you can basically, you used to be able to jump in line, just say, basically check in on your phone. So you don't even have to, and as soon as you show up at the haircut place, you're on the board, right? And you're the next in line. You don't have to wait around for everybody because you've already checked in online. So that's just one example, but that easy booking of just grabbing somebody or grabbing that appointment ensures that best customer experience on your digital platforms. And that can make the difference between whether they choose you or the competition. And having the easy choice be you is always good. And you want to highlight that. And then it also allows you to add your booking link wherever it's relevant. So you could do it on a specialized, directory page. You could do it on your main page. You can have it on your social media, link it to all your communications. And then when you do that, all roads lead to that new appointment and new customers for you. So I literally put 3 examples on here of how I use Book Like a Boss for me. I've got it on, if you go to directorywebinar.com, at the bottom of the page, it has a book a meeting link, right, where they can, clients can just book a meeting with me if they have a question. If anybody goes to those directory videos that I've posted into the directory before, the Facebook group, it has a pop-up there on the video to try to schedule a call to action when they're watching that video. Any of those dub videos I add, and it says book a time with Ryan on there, and it can go straight into my booking software. And then it's right on my Facebook page. If you guys go to facebook.com/directory toolkit, for everything I post on there, it has the Book Now integration into Facebook. And if they click the Book Now, it goes straight into my booking software, and they're in with an appointment. So those are just 3 examples of what I do, but it's one system, but I can put that anywhere that I operate on the internet, and you guys can do the same thing as well. And so more than half of all the consumers, use their mobile device during at least some part of their mobile journey when they're doing that. So just having that stuff on the page, it doesn't take too much of a leap of faith and understanding to know that if they're presented with that simple single-step process to make a booking, they're just going to be more likely to book with you than the company down the road if they don't have those options available. Looks like I'm going to turn everybody off here. I'm not sure he's typing in the background. It should be good. So just unmute yourself again if you want to talk later if I turned you off there. So appreciate that. So the next piece really is booking systems increase your booking rates as well. So and the reason for that is because the reservation can be made 24/7, similar to when we talked about last week about chatbots, where they're just kind of always there. This is basically a chatbot type thing where it's just a widget on your site and always loads. And so research shows that 35% of clients actually prefer scheduling appointments during non-business hours. And 40% of online bookings actually do happen after hours. So if they're made, in the late hours of the day, as everybody heads home, or maybe they can't do it at work, or they don't have the free time to do it at work, they're doing and booking that stuff after normal business hours. And so if you're just using a phone number or some other sort of online chat thing where you're just only available during the business hours, I mean, can you imagine how many, reservations you're going to miss if you're only working, have that available until 5 o'clock? With that online booking systems, you can be available 24 hours a day, every single day of the year. And we already talked about the now generation, if they have to wait till the next day to make that reservation or to wait for you to call them back from the phone call, the chances are they're not using your company, right? They're moving on, going to a different company, and they're going to use that company that has an online booking resource. The second thing is it actually makes it more efficient backup to cover your normal processes, right? So even if you have a normal phone or your scheduling process, just think about how many bookings have you lost, or maybe, for your clients, how many have they lost? If it's taken a day or more to get back to an inquiry, or if you're already on a phone call and somebody tried to call and got a busy signal, or they maybe tried to call you, but you're on a meeting and a Zoom meeting and you're just not answering the phone and it goes to voicemail. So, or we already talked about if your offices are closed, right, and you're not available 24/7. It's a good backup to have on your site. If they can't get you on the phone, they know they can just go ahead and use that booking system to do the exact same thing, even if they'd rather talk to you on the phone. So it just gives an option for them to do. And then the last thing, how it can increase your actual rates, is that the customers feel it's around their schedule and not yours. So the good thing when you have it available all day, they can book it in a minute, in a few minutes that's convenient to them rather than you. So just think about the last time you called the dentist's office or you called for an appointment. If you're trying to schedule, you're scheduling on their time. Normally, they're looking at their schedule, right? They're looking at their calendar. You hear a bunch of typing, and all of a sudden, they provide you the dates. So, like, how does next Thursday at 2 sound? And so, or maybe they give you a couple different options, and then you're forced to look at your calendar and go, well, no, I got a appointment at 2. How about next month? And you go back and forth like that. You waste time, they waste time. and then even if you end up with a time that makes sense, or is both available for their schedule and yours, maybe that's not exactly when you actually would want it. Maybe you guys say Tuesday at 4, and you're like, well, I don't have anything Tuesday at 4, but I've got something at 6, and I'd kind of rather, but you don't even bother trying to reschedule it after that. If it fits, you just take it. But in reality, maybe you wanted Tuesday at 10. And so if you had a booking calendar that tied into your availability, and when the user is looking at your schedule, they just pick one that fits best for them. You're not providing it to them. They're picking the one that fits best in their schedule. So whenever your processes revolve around your client, but still is made available to fit into your schedule, that's when you're going to make increased booking rates, because the clients obviously love that, and I know obviously you would as well if you were on the other end. And the next thing the booking software does is it can increase your actual revenue opportunity once you get the booking. I think of it as a no-cost sales team. So you basically get the opportunity to do an upsell offer every single time. So if you think about it in that terms, is that not only can you take that booking, but it's also you can add those extras onto the booking. That it's a tried and tested and proven way to add a little bit more return to the order with no additional effort. So let's say they book the appointment, and then they go to the thank you page. You thank them for booking the appointment, and there just happens to be some additional content on that page that you either want them to read, potentially add to their package when they show up or when you make the call, or just buy directly from that page, because it's basically an upsell page. There's all sorts of opportunities that you can do with online booking that you just really can't do on the phone without sounding like a pushy salesperson, which at that point you probably would be. It also increases the word of mouth marketing due to easy scheduling. Good word travels on people. So if they have a good, easy way to schedule on your system, or they say, hey, go over here, you can get an appointment right away on the calendar. That word spreads fast when it's a good, efficient process, and you're going to benefit from that because you get more traction from not only your current customers, but future customers as well. The next thing, you can actually get personalized data every time, because they feel that it is needed, as it's just expected as part of the process. So if I was doing an online booking and I wanted their email, that would make sense, right? You're going to book this time. I need your email or your phone number to call you back and give you reminders of the appointment, or just give me your email and we'll send you the link to the meeting that we're going to have. They're just going to give you that information, right? If you're on a phone call, and you're just like, hey, we're going to do a Zoom meeting. Here's the phone number you can call in at this time. Oh, and by the way, can I have your email? You can get it, right? But it's just a natural process to be able to get the data, because they're already in the process of providing that data. And the real reason is because they're actually requesting it, right? You're not calling them. They're going to your site. They're going to your booking meeting. They're clicking the button, make a meeting. So they're actually asking for the meeting. And so you're not really asking them for information. You're just requesting that information that you need for the appointment. So if you have the right booking software, not only can you ask for their email and phone number, you can add other stuff in there, like a form, and ask them for other optional potential, right, information that they may be willing to provide for you to help set the call up for success, or to set up the coaching session, et cetera, et cetera. So, which is something that's just a little bit harder to do with phone calls usually. It also reduces the no-shows to the system. The good thing about that, once you get in there and they have automated reminders and SMS text messages straight to their phone or their email, they're going to get automatic reminders without you doing anything that reminds them about the appointment, because there's nothing that saps efficiency is like having 2 stood-up phone calls on a Zoom meeting, and I'm sure that's happened to everybody, where just people forget about it or don't show up. That happens all the time, but even more so if you don't have a system that's set up to send them reminders. So it gets rid of that and makes you just more efficient to increase revenue, especially if you're paying for a particular coaching session or other paying for your time or services. And then the last thing is, obviously you spend time less managing, the systems and the processes, and then you get to spend more time producing, selling, coaching, whatever it is that you do for your business. You have more time to do that as opposed to just working manual processes, because that automates it for you. Next thing is it gives you more satisfied customers. So The client sees your business fitting around them. We already talked about that. Again, if they're able to pick something that fits into their schedule, as opposed to you kind of pigeonholing them into something that they're not, that's not really optimal for them, they're just gonna inherently feel happier about you and your process, just automatically, even without them consciously thinking about that. They're just gonna be happier and align your company brand with that happiness. It also should make them, find a way that's convenient to them. It could be a device platform if you have various platforms where you can do the meeting or their time. We already kind of talked about that, but just anything you can do to optimize that is good. And then it also improves customer retention, right? So anytime there's a manual process, there's an opportunity for messing it up. Maybe you fat fingered in your calendar wrong. You don't show up. There's other areas for increased inefficiencies or mistakes. And so anytime that you have a flawless, efficient system, people are going to notice that that you have that set up, and they're just going to be happier. So I think that it's kind of an obvious slide on that, but it's always helpful to have that available. Thanks, Tony. Next thing that it does is, last thing is it increases their efficiency and reduces your operational costs. And so it's kind of overlap a little bit, but I'll just walk you through, the process and just imagine yourself why this is just a better way to do it with the booking system. So obviously 60% of small businesses surveyed said they wanted to have more time available to them, and that 39% said that dealing with the paperwork is the biggest time waster in their business. I'm sure you have this. There's a lot of reasons maybe why you don't do one thing over another, just because you don't have the system set up to make it happen efficiently. So if you have that, a way to do all of the steps of a particular function better and more efficiently, you're going to do that. It just takes time to set up, and using these booking softwares that are just built to do that makes it so much easier. So just think about it, the process of taking and managing bookings, calendars, resources, and appointments is essential, but it can be a drain on your time and operational costs, not only for you as a solopreneur or even your company if you have a lot of traffic, or your clients if they have a lot of different vendors or clients or people that they're scheduling. It can take a really big drain on resources, or need an entire company or system or payment or a person to do that for them. And mainly it's because organizations are clinging a lot of times to those traditional methods, which equates to a lot of manual admin. And I think we would all admit to that. And so you just think about it. It's on the slide here. Think about the time that's spent managing the phone inquiry, right? An email response to them if it's manual, logging the booking information into your schedule or somebody else's schedule, or multiple schedules if they're not intertwined, or whatever manual process you have. Maybe it's Excel, however you do that. Then you got to send an email to confirm the booking and make sure that they know they're doing that. And a lot of times people call people back to make sure that they didn't forget about it. You still got to take the payment if you're charging for that, and how are you getting the payment notification to them and taking the payment. You got to send out the reminder email or a call, and then you got to compile that spreadsheets of booking registers and customer lists. And Tony already alluded to that too, of getting that data into your CRM or your email marketing system. So that process takes a lot of time and leaves a lot of room for human error, miscommunication, like I talked about before. And then what if the client forgets about their appointment and misses your reminder, or what happens if you accidentally book two customers at the same time slot and you do that double booking? There's a lot of potential issues. And then now imagine a world where all of that is taken care of by that online booking system, where you don't have to do any of that. And so, the system software displays the services you offer, your available time slots, so your customers can reserve the time that works for them. A system that automatically adds appointments to your calendar and does two-way syncing, so it knows what appointments are available and automatically adds it to your calendar. Automatically sends out the emails to people, automatically sends reminders and SMS reminders to their phone, and then takes the payment through your payment processor for that. So when you get to the meeting, the payment has already been made. So that's what we're going to go over later on the session, is just, again, there's a myriad of ways to do that. We're going to go over the Book Like a Boss system later on, and this is the software we're going to go into. But this is does all of that stuff we talked about. But hopefully you see from the briefing here of the valued benefits of a booking calendar, a system like that. And then we'll go over the specific implementation of that Book Like a Boss later. And we'll give the deal for you and do a live walkthrough of the system as well. So any questions on that from anybody in terms of booking software? Tony or Frank, any other, or John, anybody that is already using those? Just anything as I went through there that they either agree with, disagree with, anything? And I did mute everybody there just to turn off some sound, so you may have to turn that back on. And Tony, I'll turn you back on as well. Any questions on anything we went over?
How dare you turn off my audio? It's a good thing you get.
Can you hear me, Ryan?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'll start. And actually, what I'll do is probably switch cameras. But what I was going to say is I am so glad you gave that presentation, because it reminded me of all the reasons that I love software. It is phenomenal. One of the number one things that you had said is, hey, what happens if people don't show up? Well, with that software, the way they have it set up, it's okay because you've already been paid. That's one of the neat things about it. You can give your time or your item away for free. But yeah, if you charge for it, you've already been paid before the meeting. So if they don't show up, it's okay. You can reschedule with them if you like. And that's probably the nice and the right thing to do. But if something happens to them and they just can't be there, you're already paid.
No, that's a great point. And I'm going to sound to here real quick. If you take the money first, and the important thing too is that people tend to value things more that they pay for, right? So if they've already paid you, they know they're taking your time, they paid for the session, guess what? They're probably going to show up, right? Because depending on obviously your business model, if you're a big enough client or whatever, and it's I know a lot of them have no-show policies. If you don't show up for the video, and even if you paid for it, you're just pay again. That was that time slot, you paid for it. But obviously, with the old everybody's on the internet right now, my thing didn't work. That's probably not the best thing to do for your client base. But yeah, you can always reschedule. But the big thing, like John said, you're already paid at that point, so that's good.
Yeah, another thing I absolutely love about that software is that it's not just for your time. You can sell your time for sure, but you can also sell business solutions. So if you help people set up a website, something like that, you can set it up for a bundle package. And then you can also sell books, ebooks, and things like that, or access to videos. So all in all, it's a phenomenal program, and it's integrated with PayPal, so you don't have to worry about a payment processor. It automatically opens up the Zoom room. Well, first of all, it creates it for you. Then it goes ahead and sends the confirmation, like you said, emails, so they know when it is, you know when it is, and then before the event, it sends out another one, a few hours beforehand. So I tell you what, for when you think about all the different components they put together in one bundle, it's just really phenomenal. For anybody who's a business coach, a trainer, a motivator, or even people who offer services like accountants, bookkeepers, people who help edit books and they're billing by their time. Phenomenal.
Well, and again, it's even if you don't charge for your services and you just use it as a getting in touch with you for a client onboarding or a client welcome call. I can't think of any directory owner who is running a directory that wouldn't want that capability available to any of their clients, even if they're not paying for the consultation, just to be able to meet, get a hold of some of their clients that are visiting the site and try to onboard them. You don't have to sell anything. It's just, in fact, the thing I'm going to offer today is just the general capability of booking the software. It's not even the one that will you can do it, but not what I'm going to focus on, where you can actually charge or sell products. It's just for tying into your calendar, your availability, and booking a time to talk to you. And then you obviously, like John said, a lot of these do have them built in with the payment processing, but you don't have to use that. You can bill offline or invoice for somebody later using whatever system you are optimally using already. Even if you're not using Stripe, or if you want to put something in an invoicing software, you have a billing service, some other, whatever way you're doing, you can always bill for that later as well. So, yeah.
And I know that you're working on a program to make sure when people visit the website, they don't get away. And that this program will sort of do that as well for people who own directories, because they can go ahead and see a button that says schedule 15 minutes of my time for a free consultation to see why you would want to join my board, my directory. And then it automatically sets up the room and goes ahead and sends them email, and you can have that consultation, and it collects their email address as well, which is a lot of times what it's about, is getting the email so that you can send them emails in a tickled system, in a tickler system. So, yeah.
So can you see my screen again? Let me see if I don't see the share screen.
Hi, Frank.
Howdy.
There we go. All right, so exactly what John just said, and I'm gonna do this live now. If you guys want to do it, just see how the system works, and then I'll get into the presentation, and just so you guys can kind of see it live as we go, and maybe get it in your inbox. But I've got it on my the main directory toolkit page as well. I already showed you those three other areas. I also have it on here. So this is the Endorsal system we talked about earlier. But notice I have just a Bootstrap button on my directory. It says book a consultation now. So it's also there. And then it just goes straight into my page for booking a time with me. So if you guys want to talk about anything at all, you guys can create a meeting with me, and we can have a chat just to see how it works if you guys are interested, or if you just want to chat on a Zoom meeting about anything, just go ahead and do it. Free consultation for me at Directory Toolkit. So if you're doing it live or on the replay video, go ahead and do that from directorytoolkit.com. Just hit the button. And here's a live example. Mine is pretty simple. You can get a lot more Gucci on this. So we'll go over to John's here in a little bit, because his is a little more Gucci. This is the baseline thing that I'm going to be offering today. Really good integration and offering, but it's just simple, but it works. So it's tied in my calendar. Looks like I'm all booked up until tonight, but you guys can book a time if we go into to tomorrow. These are the available times for me. It is just that simple. It ties into my calendar. You click on a date. You want to talk to me tomorrow. You then go 11 a.m. and you put in your name, address, and the cell phone number, and hit schedule now, and it's done. It goes into my calendar, makes the Zoom room, sends you the reminders on your SMS, and that's it. So that easy, and you have a setup for your customers. I'll go over into detail about all the different functionality here when I get into the briefing. But that, if you guys want to see a live demo or do it for yourself and see how it works as we go, that's one way to do it.
So does this put buffer time in?
Yes, we'll get into that, but yes, it does. So there's a couple different timing options on there. And again, we'll get into this in a little bit, but it has bumper times where you can say a minimum schedule for the meeting. 15. Let's say it's a 15-minute meeting. You can have it every 15 minutes. You could have a bumper for a 15-minute meeting and space it out by a half hour. So in case it goes long, you have that half-hour buffer. And then other timing, you can also obviously set schedule per day and make it different each day, or a general calendar. It ties into your every calendar that you have. So if you book something on iCal, Outlook, Google Calendar, if you have an appointment anywhere on any particular calendar, it will automatically block that time off as you not being available. And then it also has a pretty cool feature that I like, is the appear busy button. And that what that does is you basically tell it, even though I'm new and I have 0 clients, make it look like I am busy half of the day by just randomly taking off time to make it look like there's less availability.
I'm talking about, so you notice all of your appointments are 30 minutes apart. Well, it's almost impossible to go from 30-minute meeting to 30-minute meeting to 30-minute meeting.
So for example, if I have a 9:30 and a 10 o'clock,
Right.
and it's a half-hour meeting, and I have a half-hour buffer in there, which is probably what I have set up. I can't remember. That is a half-hour buffer, a 9:30 and a 10, because nobody's in the 9:30 currently. As soon as somebody books a 9:30 and that appointment is filled, then the half-hour buffer after that call would be 10 o'clock. That next meeting time, if it bumps into the buffer, it would just disappear.
And that's what I'm talking about either.
That's what you asked. Go ahead. What do you mean?
Well, a lot of them, and I don't know if Calendly does, it probably doesn't, because it's pretty basic, even though it's been around forever. But some of the newer ones I was looking at has, if you schedule a 30-minute meeting, but for your client, it's only 20 minutes. So that you have 10 minutes to get ready for the next meeting.
I think it does the same thing. You're just saying it differently, Frank.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You could prematurely cut it off for the client and then not have the buffer time. Or what this integrates it for you. You basically tell the buffer time. So based on when they book it, you just every time have 15 minutes between calls, or a half hour, or 2 hours. Yeah.
But then you said if they book it, it takes it away and moves it to the next one?
Because it knows there's a buffer there. So it's going to, like for me, if I set up every 15 minutes, because I want to give them as close to their schedule as they want. I have 9, 9:15, 9:45, but it's a half-hour booking time frame. If somebody books at 9 o'clock, and then that call would go from 9 to 9:30, and then I have a 15-minute buffer in there, it's going to take away the 9:45 time as an option for somebody else, because that's inside of my meeting and buffer time.
What if it's already booked?
It's not. As soon as somebody books the meeting, it takes it off. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, that's
so let me go into the slides here, and we'll go over the actual availability of the item here. So give me a second. Okay, so Book Like a Boss. We already kind of gave the intro earlier, so go ahead and watch the other video on here if you did not watch that, or catch the replay there on why you need a booking system on your site. But Book Like a Boss basically allows you to get started and making those paid billings in just a few minutes. And again, we're going to do a walkthrough live here in a little bit and go through that and answer any questions as we go, again, about this system or any other system generically. But allows you to create your booking page and start taking that in less than 10 minutes. Just you choose your page name, set up your availability, list your products and services if you're using the paid the version to be able to take payments, connect it with that. Sync it with your calendar, and then you can get paid all within 10 minutes. So we're going to go over that again, Book Like a Boss, for today's software. So as we go through here, we're going to teach you how to book like a boss. I love the name of their company there and their slogan there. Just this is their slogan: more bookings equals more money. We already talked about why that's important to use the booking software in order for you to do that. So again, watch the replay if you did not see that. But the Book Like a Boss is, we'll go over the dashboard here in a little bit, but basically it has a really great dashboard to manage your business from. That dashboard, you get to see today's schedule, see all the bookings, easily view your calendar and create the calendars. It has an embed messaging system from people where you can write back and forth. And then it's, they say easier than drag and drop, but it's very easy to use. And it's kind of your one-stop shop to open up the day and then see what you're doing for your client base. As you get it set up, you can do unlimited packages and appointments. So a lot of the systems limit the number of appointments you can have or number of products or packages. Book Like a Boss does not limit you in any way. You can have unlimited, basically anything, unlimited bookings. They don't restrict by the number of clients as well. You pay for the system, you get unlimited everything on that. You build out obviously you can even do custom ones and keep them hidden from your main page. So you could literally make a separate landing page, a separate booking for every client and make a custom page for that particular client if you wanted to, so that they could book from their own page that looks like you made it specifically for them. So don't recommend necessarily doing that, but you could, right? It's unlimited pages, unlimited landing pages, unlimited booking styles. It's all up to you, and you can do as many as you want. A package is basically a service like John already kind of alluded to it earlier. It could be logo design, massage, consulting, booking, seating for a restaurant, dog walking services, whatever. Basically, whatever you're offering to the client, the ability to book either for your time, for a service, for a product, specified time, or a physical product, right? It could be a book, a DVD, a T-shirt that you're going to ship to your customers, or a digital product. It could be an MP3, an ebook, a video download, or something that you send to them via email. Basically, whatever it is, your time, a product, a digital product, an actual product, or a service, you can do all of that in Book Like a Boss inside of their software. It also allows you to sell, as I said before, an unlimited number of products and services, and some of the other services too. If you're going to sell stuff, they actually take a percentage of your sales. Theirs is they just sell the software, and the actual sales is 100% yours. So they don't take anything or skim it off the top. And then we've already kind of talked about in the previous slide, but you can sell your time for products or services. They could just schedule that time and not have to pay for it, and you use a different system. We talked about that as well. You could sell your digital or physical services, and they have payments, Stripe and Square. And a lot of them have Stripe and PayPal, but they have Square, so that's really good for if you have restaurant clients or some other physical locations that a lot of them use Square. So that's a great integration that a lot of those other companies do not have. And then you can do custom coupon codes, again, per person, per page, or per service, that just allows you to, just like your BD directory, to give a discounted pricing code for their offerings. So the really where the power comes in from, I think this one, vice some of the other ones, or they all kind of have some integration, but this one is just works flawlessly, or at least it has for me. John can attest to his perspective, but it does two-way calendar sync. So a lot of the other calendars pull the calendar, but don't necessarily sync it. This one does two-way calendar sync and automatically updates, imports all your calendar entries, and sends new bookings directly back to that calendar for the sync. And as we talked about earlier, if it then one of the next meeting times you have scheduled is affected by the buffer that you set, then that calendar just automatically gets updated and only offers the available times for you. You can have multiple calendars. So as you know, you can have multiple calendars in your iCal, your Google Calendar, Gmail, whatever. And this allows you to pick and choose which calendars you want to add in there. So if you don't care about what your wife is doing, don't include her calendar. But if you have a family calendar where her events affect you, and that's how I have it set up for me, I include the family calendar on there. And then I know if we're doing something as a family, that just takes those times off from the calendar. So multiple calendars, as many as you want, one-click integration, and those are on your schedule. It has availability settings, so you can choose when to offer your services and how much of each appointment and globally affects for all of them, or for a particular event or calendar type. So you can change that per day of the week, or have universal things and just kind of have it apply to the rest of the week. And then the great thing about this one is just, I think the biggest thing that I've seen that's been the snag in some other systems like Google Meet or some other systems that don't have time zone detection. It's very, very confusing when I make a booking with somebody in the UK and it sends me an email with the time in UK time that's in fine print, and I don't realize it's in UK time and it's not in my Eastern Standard Time zone where I'm at. It just gets confusing. So this has built-in time zone detection. You can have clients around the world, and then they get to see the availability in their time zone, not in yours. And they automatically take care of that based on their location. So this is honestly probably one of the biggest selling factors, in my opinion, that pays its dividends, especially if you have multiple time zones. And obviously I'm digital with people all over the world, so that's very beneficial to me. You can change the duration from 5 minutes to 12 hours. You can have intervals on how many slots are shown. You can change the customer success message on there. So when you do that, they get a message, and you can change that. We already talked about the custom fields where you can do an intake forms. It's not just your email and phone number. It can be any particular items that you put in the form. You can get all that data. And again, that's why it's probably better than doing it over the phone. You can have cutoff times so that you stop at certain times. And I've already talked about the calendar integration will automatically change your booking availability based on the calendars. And then you can have a max cutoff in days ahead of the I'm just going to mute everybody again just to make it quiet here. But max cutoff, you can do days in advance. So let's say I don't want to have a book. I'm on a webinar right now. Let's say I'm available in the next hour. I don't want somebody to randomly book like 5 minutes before the opening, because I'm not going to have time to check my calendar, or I won't have time to prepare. So you can set up the cutoff and say, hey, I don't want anybody to book any earlier than 4 hours from the present time. So right now it's 3 o'clock Eastern. If I say I have a 4 hour buffer, nobody's going to be able to book an event before 7 o'clock tonight, because it just basically cuts off those rotating times when that 4 hour buffer hits. And then you can do a max cutoff of days in advance as well. So you can just say, I don't want anybody to book out more than 1 week in advance. I want to be able to make my vacation time or something and have it not booked like 3 months out and have me not be available or have to cancel things because I add stuff to my calendar outside of my set dates. You can hide specific appointments. You can do custom URLs for each service. We already talked about everything gets its own landing page. You can do one per customer. Again, unlimited for the Book Like a Boss system. And then you can do paddings on either side. So we already talked about that ad nauseum a few minutes ago, but you can do like a half-hour pad before or after, and the calendar will automatically update. You can do group bookings on here, so you can have the max participants and have multiple attendees. They just added that, so group participations. It's not just one person. It can be multiple people. So this comes into handy when you're doing webinars, or you can do that in the system, or events where you can have everybody show up, maybe have one Zoom room that you provide them, but you limit the number of attendees to say 5 people, and that can only that number can be the max participant for that particular booking level. You can auto pre-approve things and then have a date rate option. So tons of stuff, and we'll go through this in the actual walkthrough here in a little bit. The biggest thing and biggest, I think a lot of them are doing this now, but these are Book Like a Boss is one of the first ones to do this. They have automated Zoom meeting integration. And you do not have, and I'll star this one, so some of the other ones require the paid version. You do not need to pay for Zoom for this to work. I do this all the time. I use this for all my clients. I have never paid Zoom a single penny, and it works like a charm. So all you have to do is add your API or the Zoom integration in there, and automatically when somebody clicks that meeting, if you guys did that while I was doing the presentation here with me, it'll auto-create an independent Zoom room for that particular meeting and integrates that into the email and all of the reminder services, and you don't have to do anything. You literally get, like for me, if I have somebody booked, I just get an SMS notification an hour, 1 day, and then 1 hour prior to the meeting, and I didn't do anything. I just look at it and go, oh, hey, I got a meeting in 1 hour with John. And then I can go, get ready for that meeting or the day prior, because I get one the day prior as well. So I say one-click integration with Zoom. As soon as they, for any meeting, any product, you can add that in there, one click, turn on a Zoom meeting for that particular session, and it automatically, I say auto-magically creates the Zoom meeting and works flawlessly for that. We already talked about the calendar thing there, so you can avoid those late shows and no-shows for good with those automatic reminders. So I kind of mentioned that. You can set up to 5 reminder emails for every service you offer, and SMS reminders, again, up to 5 on the frequency for that. I set mine at a day prior, and I think an hour or a half hour prior too, just so they don't forget. It reminds them the day prior that, oh, you got a meeting with me tomorrow, and then about a half hour before the meeting it says, oh, hey, you have a meeting with Ryan in a half hour, and reduces those no-shows. I already talked about the multiple recipients and being able to customize those emails to your brand and text as well. Whatever you want, you can add in those emails. So here's just an example of one from the system. It's this is actually one long email. I just broke it up into two parts there so you can kind of see it on the screen better. But this is how beautiful the emails are. It says you're booking with this is the one I get as the admin. It looks the same thing from your side as the user. It says, hey, you're booking with so-and-so will take place in 1 day. Here's the booking information. Here's the date and time. Here's the name, their email, and there's the one click to the Zoom meeting. And then you can add that to your calendar, either Outlook, Google, Apple iCalendar, or your mobile device. You can add that to your device if it goes to an email where it's not already integrated. We already talked about it's two-way sync, so it's probably already in your calendar because it's your system, but they're going to do the same thing on the client end. It's probably not in their system because you don't have access to their calendar. So this allows them to, again, not forget it, one click, add it to their Apple iCalendar, Google Calendar, et cetera, so that they can on their own terms realize when your meeting is for so they don't miss it. So we talked about this a little bit earlier as well, but you get the custom landing page. So here's just an example of how it works. You can they have a built-in CMS that allows you to build and edit your booking web system. So it allows you to edit the content and images and add some styling as well to make sure it matches your website branding. And you can publish new content, modify the booking details to display on there, logos, images, and et cetera. And I'll show you a few examples of those here. And we'll actually go to John's site here in a minute when we're done talking, and I'll let him talk as well. But here's an example of one. You can add videos in there, a welcome email. Here's another, look and feel. Again, just different header, different video, different look. And then here's John's actual Book Like a Boss for helpingours.com. And that's what shows up for him. And I'll let him talk here in a second when we're done. Here's some other features that you can do and add on your page. You can add the testimonials on there. So we talked about getting feedback testimonials. We talked about the endorsal before that we have available on Directory Toolkit. It doesn't integrate with that, but you can just grab those testimonials that you're getting from another system through the chat, Feedier, or Endorsal, whatever system you have, and you can just kind of add those in there in the system real easy and put those on your booking page, again, to kind of show that social proof on your actual site for testimonials that you do good work. You can add frequently asked questions on there to have that built in there, so you can add frequently asked questions. And again, you're just trying to overcome, when they get to your booking page, any initial hurdles or questions that you have. You're just answering them, so there's no reason that they're not going to go ahead and book that system. It has a built-in gallery, so you can add videos or images on there, I believe, just to kind of show your work. Or show other examples of stuff, just again to entice them to go ahead and schedule the booking with you. And then it also has other integrations in there for you. Tony talked about this, about not being able to get the data into their CRM or whatever. Book Like a Boss has a Zapier integration, so I think you're limited to 2,000 integrations there with your account with Book Like a Boss. You can get that data into whatever you want, and it has some other native integrations as well. It has call page integration. I'll show you that on my live one, I think, as well in a second here. That has that. Basically, you can call straight to you from that page. And then coming soon to a Book Like a Boss near you, instead of Zoom, it's also going to offer a Google Meet integration shortly as well. So if you don't like to use Zoom, which who doesn't like Zoom, but if you're on that, people that don't like Zoom or have something else, you can actually use the free Google Meet as well, and that will become available shortly. So tons of integrations that you guys can use for your system. In terms of payment gateways, we already talked about that. Stripe, Square, and PayPal has Stripe and PayPal, two of the most common ones for online, and then Square, obviously, for offline, is probably the biggest POS, and that's point of sale, I guess, for that acronym. Not a POS. I actually like Stripe or Square, but that's a lot of the offline venues actually use that. And then if you have the full paid version, the high end, you also can get a custom domain. For the offer today, you're going to be able to get the one where you just book and integrates with your calendar, and it'll be on my basically domain for a sub account under me, but it'll be a subdirectory under directorybooking.com. So it'll be directorybooking.com whatever you want. Normally it's under bookme.name. As you saw in mine, it was bookme.name/mlocal. But if you don't, you can use bookme.name with the system. But if you get it with me, it'll just be directorybooking.com and then whatever / whatever business name you want on that. So it's kind of white labeled under directory booking. It looks like your directory for a booking service, but it'll just have your Vineland NJ or whatever your directory is called after the / on that for today's offer. And so before I get into the live thing, and I'll let John talk to you about that while I'm setting that up, about what his experience is with Book Like a Boss. What I'm offering up today is they have different pricing tiers. One's just, it's called the espresso pricing. That's just for where you integrate with your calendar and you make bookings on the site, but you can't charge people into your account for that. You're not charging. You're just basically adding a calendar, being able to talk to people. Their espresso plan is $90 a year for all those functions that we just talked about. For today's webinar only, I got the link on there, and I'll show you where that's at here in a second as well. $60 a year. I'm just doing it by year. It actually is $5 a month is what that equates to, but $60 a year will be an annual pricing only for today, just because I don't want people doing it for a month for $5 and then having me switch people out. Doesn't make sense for me. So they have a 90 per year pricing. I'm going to do it for a year, $60. There's only 5 of those available for everybody today, and that'll be for life. So it's the exact same plan of the Book Like a Boss espresso pricing. On their webpage, you can go there and check it out, booklikeaboss.com, to see the pricing. But same exact espresso thing for you, and it's $60 a year, and that can be yours today. And again, if you go to directortoolkit.com, it'll be right there in the products, and you can avail yourself of that, of the Book Like a Boss, the Zoom integration. I'm going to throw this out there as well. I'd already previously talked about this with John. The accounts that you guys are going to get actually do have the capability of charging people and putting prices in there, but it actually goes to, because it's basically a sub account for my company, it will go to my company as opposed to yours, because you can't actually add in your company model there. But it does offer the capability to do that. So if for some reason you want to keep that account, then you want to use the paid thing on your own, you can then just stop that and upgrade to the Book Like a Boss. I think it's $29 a month. For that one, you can do the full Monty on there. Or if you're fine having the capability of flexing to that and getting money because you're not sure you're going to ever sell anything off that, and you just want to have the capability to do that, but don't want to pay the $29, the extra $20 a month to have that capability, it does do that in your account. And then what I can do is just I can just provide that money back to you from mine if you make any sales. And then what I'll probably do at that point is just charge that $20 fee or that extra fee for that that month that you made sales there, just to recoup the cost. So it's basically like the lower tier plan that can flex up to that higher tier plan whenever you want. But I'm just telling everybody now, just as a general functionality for this price, what you're going to do is have that baseline functionality without the money, because it's basically there's some extra work that we'd have to do to get that money back to you. But it does have the capability to do that inside of the account that you're going to get for that $5 a month. So I can answer any questions on that. I know that was probably a little bit convoluted, but just if you think about right now is just the lowest tier, it does all the booking stuff without the money stuff. It is $60 a year for that espresso pricing value. So while I set up the live thing and go there or answer any questions, I'm going to talk. If you want to think about questions, I'm going to toss it over to John real quick. And if you could just talk to me about your page a little bit. I'm going to pull up your page live, or you can do it. I'll pull up on my end, and then you can just talk to it as we go there. So I'm going to pull it up. Just go ahead. Oh, sorry. I'm going to turn you back on there. I think I had you off. There you go.
All right. So now to share my desktop, what do I need to do, my friend?
Well, I'll just pull it up, because I think I didn't have you set up as a presenter. I probably should have done that, but I'll just pull it up on my side.
Okay.
And it's just helpingours.com, right?
Yes. And yeah. Hey, that's great. Well, I totally agree with you, Ryan. This is the absolute perfect program from somebody who has a directory and wants to make sure people don't get away, number one, you can have a button on there that says schedule a 10-minute meet with me right now. And then they can register there, and you're going to get their email address, and then you can answer all the questions they have, do screen sharing, help them get signed up if they have questions about that. And then also for onboarding after they've signed up, it's a phenomenal program for that for so many reasons, because it goes ahead and shows your calendar, allows them to reserve your time. If, like I do, you're billing for your time, it'll go ahead and allow them to pay you either by Stripe or by PayPal, as you said, which is extremely nice to be paid beforehand. Then you can do all the things you'd be able to do in Zoom, share your screen. You could even record it so that for that example, if you're onboarding somebody, there's a lot of things in there that you want to make sure that they know how to do. And time is money, as we know. So it's really beneficial to you and to them that they can go ahead and watch the replay whenever they want. Now, I do more of the billing for my time, for business solutions, for courses, books, manuals, that kind of thing. So what I really like about it, again, is that it makes it very easy for me to tell people what I do, for them to see my calendar, for them to reserve my time. And so it just eliminates a lot of the time wasting on back and forth to ask if you can be available next Thursday at 3 o'clock. It's just automatically done. It confirms by email that you have that meeting. And then the next thing I like about it is it creates the Zoom room for you. And that's big, Ryan, that it creates it without you having to pay. I only pay $15 a month for the pro version of Zoom, but hey, that's $15 a month. And the software, the Book Like a Boss, will go ahead and, I don't know how they do that. They must have a special program, an offer through Zoom, an arrangement with them, but that really makes it nice. So again, then it sends them email and you an email to let them know that you have a meeting scheduled. Then prior to the meeting, it'll send them another email as a reminder. Then the other thing it does that I did not know that it would do this, and it does so many things well at one time, is you can even set up the ability to have recurring billing. So with me, a lot of times I will do, and you probably see that on if you scroll down, Ryan, thank you, sir, to the first three options. The first one being the Helpinars offered, and then let's meet for a discovery call to the right of that, and then if you need help right away. I absolutely love this, that I have the ability to give people a discovery call, and so we can meet, and I collect their email address so I can go ahead and tell them about this or another offer later on. Then I can also say, hey, if you need help right now, I'm available right now. And that's one of the nice things about this software, is that sometimes people need help now and they don't want to wait to schedule something through a Fiverr and all those programs. So they can just go ahead and book you right now, pay you right now, get help right now, record it, the whole bit. So that is very, very perfect for me. Another thing I like about this is, Ryan, if you click on that free 30-minute lead capture and marketing system under details, you will see as you scroll down to the bottom. Boy, I hope you can hear me, right, everybody?
Yep.
All right. So you can see that they have an FAQ. So this is almost like, to me, a sales tool as much as a time saver, because they get down to the bottom and they can see things like, hey, can I really use the software for 30 days as a test or for free? And is it free? And they click here. It has a little pull down menu. And then you can also include the links, of course, where they can go ahead and get signed up. Above that, you can have the testimonials. And then above that is the calendar where they can see the.
And John, and the really important thing about this, I kind of alluded to it, but this is kind of seen it in action. This is every single one of these booking things. It has, not only do you have this stuff on the front page, it also has it unique to this. So when he said you can add a testimonial for this product or this service. It's the FAQ for this service. It's not like for your website or for your entire offerings. It's for that service. So if you go to a different service, it's not going to have those FAQs or that testimonial, right? Potentially, because this is per that particular item. But go ahead.
I love it. You're absolutely right. Another thing related to that is that you can either send them to your main page where they see all the offers and they can see information about you, or you can send them to one specific offer. So each one of those offers that you see has a unique URL that you can send them to that. And it goes even further than that. You can send them the longer version where they can read everything, the FAQ that I showed you, and the testimonials, or you can send them to a shorter version that just, hey, it's a very clean, professional looking page that has doesn't have the menus on the left, and it doesn't have some, like you said, all of the, it's always the same for that particular offer. It's not global, is what you were talking about. So, yeah. Another thing that you can do with this, I'm glad you brought that up. Another thing you can do with this is you can actually sell specific items. So, or use it as a lead magnet. For example, there is at the very bottom right-hand side, Ryan, where it says the free guide to billing for your time, how to easily schedule, bill, and collect for your time. That is probably a 16-page PDF that talks about this software, and I'm sure that anybody's going to get the package from Ryan today would want to read that if you're doing any kind of billing. And even if you're not, it's okay, because it does a lot of print screens. It has a lot of print screens of how to go ahead and use the software, and then specifically for the Zoom, how to start the room, how to share your screen, how to mute the mic, things like that, and especially recording. I think that's the most important thing, as we were talking about earlier. A lot of this, the goal is to save time, to educate people and make them more successful with their directory, so that they spend more time and money on the site and more time with you. Yeah, so very, very beneficial program there. And another thing that I was really pleased to see is that you can schedule the events, like you were saying, Ryan, for more than one person at a time, even if it's billable. So if you're wanting to be a private event, then you just say, hey, I only want one person there. If it's something where you want to do some training and you're saying it's $25, or like you were saying, maybe it's just $5, 5 people, even if it's free, you can go ahead and say how many people you want in that event at one time. And it's just phenomenal. I'm going to look through my notes here that on this document that I had set up and see if there's anything else I wanted to share.
That's great, John. Yeah, just go and do that. I'm going to go ahead and share the. You're going to mute yourself real quick there while I'm talking. We have some feedback. There we go. I'll just go over the screen here. If you want to jump in, if you're finally in your notes there, that'd be great. I'm just going to kind of do. I'm not going to make a walkthrough of everything here. I just want to kind of show you the dashboard here. This will have your orders here. So obviously, if there's, it'll give you your monitor thing, and it'll have like all your upcoming meetings here, where you can click into the meeting dynamically. If you have this hooked to your calendars here, it'll actually have your schedule for the day, so you can kind of see not only in here, but it shows you everything else in your calendars for the day, so you can kind of see how your bookings fit into your schedule. The obviously has your profile details, and this is the exact thing you're going to see if you guys order it today. Which I've already had a couple of orders already. So I'll get those set up in for everybody. And then if you still want one, there may be some available. Again, I only have 5 available. If they're gone, they're gone. So this is what we already showed you before. Testimonials, for example. You just click add testimonials and you can add that stuff in there real easy. The text colors and fonts, you can edit the setup for that, for all the different colors of your section. You can rename sections. So if you don't want to say testimonials, you can make it say whatever you want. So kind of customization all over the place for that page. This is the gallery I was talking to you about adding stuff up here to drag files. So it does look like it's just images. I think I said video, so I apologize on that. But there's just 10 images basically that it allows you to put in there. Profile photo. So this is the header screen and your profile photo that we had for John's headscape there, and then his logo stuff. That's where you change that. And then here's the FAQs. So you can add, and this is the general page, right? For the overall page, you can add the FAQ. And then the integrations are just kind of one-click integrations. You just click connect for Zoom. It literally, I'm going to connect this to my Zoom and show you how easy it is to do that. I think this is hovering over there for the sharing stuff. Hold on, there we go. So you one-click button, say integrate with Zoom, and done. It just connected to my Zoom meeting, and that's it. It now is going to make a Zoom meeting for every one of these videos. So that's exactly how easy it is. You can add YouTube ID in there. So if you have a YouTube video to play at the top of your page, you can do that. Integrates natively into MailChimp and Gist if you have that. Again, without using Zapier, it has a direct connection to them. You can do Google Analytics for that, Facebook Pixel, and do retargeting ads right in there. And then I use the call page and the dub video to integrate into there. So those are two great ones. These are just all the built-in ones, but then you have, I guess, I said 2,000. I apologize. There's only 1,000 apps that you can integrate that with Zapier. Messages, that's basically where you can talk back and forth to people. So if you have anything, messages will show up in here and you can chat back and forth from your bookings. Here's the booking schedule to show you that real quick. You can basically add it per day. So you'd basically say, I'm available from 9 to 5 on Sunday. I'm going to apply that to everybody except for Saturdays. I am not available. So that's it. I just did my weekly schedule. I'm not available Saturdays. Every other day, 9 to 5. And then let's say I'm available from noon to 5 on Mondays. That's 12 p.m. to 5 because I have something in the morning. That's it. And then you hit save, or auto saves on that, and that's it. That's pretty easy on the scheduling stuff. The calendar, again, this integrates with any calendar that you could ever think about using, and it also puts all your appointments on the calendar once they're on here. So all you do is go add calendar. I'll just demo how easy this is. You pick anything you want: Outlook, Exchange, Office 365, Google, or iCloud. I'm just going to do my iCloud as an example. You put in your Apple ID and your app password, and you link the account, and literally that is it. I just added my Google Calendar and the Apple iCloud calendar because those are tied together for me, and that's it. You see how quickly it added that in there, and now I have 2 connected calendar accounts. You can also manage those and change which one of those that you want for the connected calendars as well. Here's what we talked about before about the new time off event, where you can say, hey, I have something, a family picnic on Saturday. I just want a new time off. It'll just override your calendar based off from a one-time event, so you don't have to change your booking schedule. Your appointments, this is where you set up your actual individual appointments. You can add individual appointments as opposed to having a product or service. You basically just say, hey, I want to add one-off appointment, and it'll allow you to do that. And you basically say it's going to be a 1 hour appointment or 0 hours and 20-minute appointment. I want the 1 hour padding, and I want 1 hour and 20-minute padding. This is the cutoff days we talked about, the interval. I want to do that every 1 hour. We can have a maximum of 5 participants. You can do interval amount of bookings per day. Let's say you want to only have one of these a day. I'm only going to do this once. Cutoff, and you can actually do rescheduling. We didn't talk about this earlier, but the person can also reschedule themselves. So they don't even have to call you. There's like, crap, 10 o'clock doesn't work. They can go in there and say reschedule for 11. It'll automatically cancel it off from your calendar, rebook it, and send you the rebooking information to your system automatically without you doing anything. Has a success message and the redirect URL, so you could push them to your directory page or anything else that you want after their schedule. And then this is your magical create a meeting in a Zoom when booked. Boom, you do that, and that's it. One button, create the meeting in Zoom. Because I integrated Zoom from before, it's already built into that. Let me see what other items here are required. Let's see. Okay, I got to save changes and then makes the other tabs available here. That's right. So here I set this up in the calendar settings. So basically it asks me which calendars I want to add those bookings to. So let's say this is work calendar. So I'm going to add that to the work calendar on my iCloud, and it's a calls thing on my Google Calendar. I'm going to add the calls for there. So that's what that'll do. Now I can do profile details, or do title, about me in the sidebar. I can do cover media. And again, this is for this listing. When John showed you that page for that particular booking, that's these details for that page. Text and font, testimonials, FAQ. So again, this is all custom per the landing page for that particular event. And this is what he was talking about the light and the full URL. I'll just show you the light and then the full. And again, I don't have anything set up on here, so it's not going to be complete. But you see how this is just the light one. It's literally just saying, and these are those settings I had just set up there with the hour buffer and the 20-minute thing. And then this is the full page. And again, it'd have the about us, FAQ, et cetera, if you already had set that up. So that's the appointments. There's the products and services. Again, this is going to be available on there if you get it today. But you can set it up there and just make it for free if you don't want to charge. But it allows you to have packages, like he said before, so you could buy like an entire package or a bunch of different sessions or whatever. You're going to kind of set those up. It's the same stuff, only just you can add the pricing on there. And then they also have a new, this is brand new, where it has events. So you can actually make a webinar type thing for a one-day meetup or a group events or something like that, where you can set up a maximum attendees and you can set all the details up for a particular event, kind of like a webinar. So I'll just call this webinar. And again, let's say I'm still doing the work and the calls. And then it just walks you through there, and it basically makes a kind of a webinar scheduling page. So it's not like the other one. It's basically an event page that it sets you up for. Let me just click through a bunch of random stuff here. Create a meeting. And I have no padding on that. And again, it has the same stuff. But now it has the toolkit and the light URL, and it's kind of set up for that stuff. So let me see what that looks like. And I think and so you see how it sets it up as an event. So now, because this was already in the past, it says this event can no longer be joined because it was in the past. So these are basically like timed events, one-off things where you set it on the calendar, it shows up, and then it goes away because it was like an event that you're charging people either to go to or to go to the Zoom meeting. So this is almost now set up kind of like a webinar system as well, where you can charge somebody for webinar, and then that just goes away as soon as that event is there. It's not like it's a service they can continually go here and buy, or a continuous half-hour meeting that is offered. It's at a particular time and date, and then just goes away. I think you guys get the point, but it's basically events, and that's brand new and a really new great feature. Here's the coupon that we talked about, where you can set up stuff if you're charging for them. The embeds, I think it went without saying, even though we didn't say it before, is you can embed this right on your directory and add that in there on the page. Let me just show you one live, because I forgot about that. I just want to show it to you what it looks like. It literally, you just add the code to your page, and it shows up natively in a widget, and it works good. This is just my share page for my Hudsonville page. I think this is still live. Yep. So it shows up. I've got a bunch of different options that you can share on social media, fill out a survey. I have a feed your survey on here, just a BD form. And then right here, it says, let's chat. I just embedded that widget right in here for that website account setup. So this is the same thing that you'd find in that bookme.name/mlocal that I normally link to off from my directory toolkit. You can put that directly on your website as opposed to them going to another page. It's literally right in your directory. And so that embed function works great. And that's how you add the new embed. And again, you can change all the different colors around. You can turn off the branding. And something I didn't add on there for I'm just going to go show you guys the pricing, because I kind of mentioned that earlier. Something that is not available in theirs that is available in mine, and I'm going to put that on the website as well, is you cannot remove the branding from on their espresso plan. And again, annual billing for them is $90. But for mine, you can remove that branding. So that's key as well if you don't want to show their branding. And then you can see all of your orders if you're buying it. You can see all your bookings. And then probably importantly as well, if you're using that as a lead magnet, you can see all your client information data here as well and be able to grab that data and utilize that. And again, if you're linking that in integration to another system through Zapier or whatever, you can send that to your GetResponse or your MailChimp or whatever CRM package that Tony, that you're using or anybody else is using to get that data out of the system. So it's just kind of a general walkthrough. Any questions on that or just anything else? We're at our 2-hour point here for the webinar. But if anybody has any other questions that we want to talk about real quick after I stop the recording here, feel free to stay on and ask that question. But again, I'm going to stop the recording for today. Thanks to everybody for joining today. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff out of the webinar today, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.